Hi, I'm Leah.
Hi, I'm Arttu.
And we are
Donkey Bridge Reactions.
Welcome back to our channel. We are still kind of in this dreamland, living this high, coming back from UMK over the weekend, and we really wanted to share with you our thoughts about it.
Yes, it was an awesome, lot better than I expected. I've never been in a televised show like that. I've maybe been in some televised programs, but not a musical show like that. So it was tax money well spent.
I was pleasantly surprised too. I had been warned by friends who have been to some live recordings of The Voice or things like that, and they told me that it might feel that it's so geared towards TV that maybe the audience that's there in person isn't cared for. But I felt so cared for. I thought the attention to detail was there, and it was cool to see behind the scenes all the camera work. But it was also an amazing show to witness in person.
Yeah, 2 hours went past like that. There was all the time something happening, and not a single moment like, okay, now we're just waiting for something to go on television. No, there was all the time something going on.
And I didn't even have to go to the bathroom that entire time, which I was really proud of myself for, because they kind of warn you that you can't be let out, or you would have to have kind of this bodyguard go with you. And so there was some stress, but as soon as the show was on, I thought, I'm ready for this, and I couldn't even think about having to go to the bathroom as I was so engaged.
And we also got pretty lucky with our seats. First time around, we were seated right behind one of the cameras, and then just before the show was starting, one of the cameramen came to us and said that, okay, this is a bit too close for them to operate the camera, so they had set up us new seats like behind the front audience, meaning just in front of the artists' booths. So we were really close with our new seats, with like the Robin and Benjamin and all of the guys were just like a couple meters back.
Yeah,
it was that definitely affected my feeling of the of the show.
It was amazing because not only could we always see what was going on with Lxandra, Benjamin, Robin, and Kuumaa, because they were on our side, but as all of the acts came to the side of the stage to then go up and perform, we got to give them high fives, we got to say good luck, and it was amazing. It was more than I could have ever even dreamed of.
Yes, the Samu Haber, he was doing some of the inserts right behind us, so the camera was like right on top of us, shooting Samu Haber, who was like standing 2 meters behind us, and also the VV Blog's William was there doing his bit right behind us.
And I have to say, both Samu Haber and William were so sweet, and we interacted with them a little bit. Okay, not me so much with Samu Haber, but our friend Marina. He had her speak into the microphone at one point when the volume was down, but I guess he could still hear her in his earpiece, and he jumped back. And then William, I don't know, I saw him and thought, oh my gosh, I'm from Wee Blogs, and he had some time before he went on camera, and so he was just kind of chatting for a bit, and it was amazing. And then later we saw him after the performance and wanted a picture, and of course he assumed, like most people do these days, that we were going to take a selfie. So he decides to do the lighting for the selfie, but because we're old school, we had my partner set up to take an actual photo from us. So here's William holding this up, and we're like, oh no, the camera's there. And he was embarrassed, we were embarrassed, but it was really cute, and I felt like we were really bonded.
Yeah, it was really fun to see the other artists. They were probably at the backstage, but it was nice to see William and some of the other like supporting characters there on the actual dance floor.
Yeah, and Axel from a few years ago, I saw him after the show. It was, there were so many stars. I felt very starstruck. And then also felt kind of like a VIP because where we were seated is not where we were supposed to be seated. But we ended up being with kind of these influencers and people like that, and it was really fun.
And there was also this Ylex street, which was there was this Erika Wikman's the red chair
from her performance. Yes.
And Keira's stairs, the pink stairs, and
Robin's couch from the music video that was kind of leaning to one side. Yeah, there felt like they really put so much thought into making this such a fun experience because it was really fun to take pictures in front of those. It was great. We got body paint of different things. I think you had Slay on your arm.
I did.
I had 12 points on my cheek. It was there were so many elements that went into it, and the drinks at the show were all created based off of the songs. So there were pina coladas for Käärijä. I can't remember what the other ones were because that one was the most obvious, but it was really cool.
Yeah, I didn't have the pina colada. They ran
sold out.
Yeah, they sold out. I wanted to have one, but no, it ran out. Then I chose Lxandra's. I think it was soda with vodka. Like really.
Okay. I bet it had a clever name though.
Should we talk a bit about the performances?
Yeah. So I think what we're thinking about doing is going from the last place in points and working our way to the top and giving our reflections on what we thought about the performance and how it lived up to what we had thought we were going to see. So with that, let's start with Benjamin was in 5th place with the jury vote after the juries voted, but then went to bottom place with only 66 points in the final results with the televote. What did you think about his performance?
I liked it a lot, being there. Then afterwards I read some articles that the singing didn't sound so nice on live television, but there at the place I didn't notice it, so maybe there was some mixing issues. The staging, the whole like futuristic, the lighting and lasers and whatnot, I thought it looked really cool. So I was shocked to see Benjamin at the last place.
I was too. I really loved the lighting of his performance. I liked the outfit. I liked that he didn't necessarily go for just what was in his music video, which was very clever, but did something different on the stage. And really, for me, I had ranked him 5th in my personal rankings, and he moved up after I saw the live performance. That being said, I heard the same things about him on the television, and one of my friends actually said that he looked like Napoleon Dynamite a little bit. Not with the costume, but the fact that he was so in his own world and really kind of thought I'm this amazing dancer, I don't need backup dancers. And so he gave off maybe this vibe that was a bit overconfident. Which I actually could see a bit. But I really liked him, and I think lots of people were shocked that was the result, that he was last place. In fact, Bess came over. This is a moment that we got to see from where we were seated. Bess came over immediately after all of the results went through and really kind of comforted Benjamin. And of course, she got second place last year and has had all this success. And so I think it coming from her that, yeah, what the fuck, that you were seventh place. And we could see some of the lip reading there, but I think she was the right person to say, like, this doesn't actually matter. You've done so well.
Yeah, definitely. It was really interesting to see how the artists were supporting each other and comforting each other. That probably wasn't visible in live television. Mm-hmm. For example, when they played the insert on television where they were reacting to each other's songs first time when they didn't know who others were in the competition, and there was Benjamin's Go Girl moment with with reacting to Robin's song, and when that was played on television, then Benjamin and Robin, they were like hugging there at the background, so so there were like nice interactions going on, like, also outside of television.
Yeah, they really seem to enjoy each other's company, and I think there's such high competition. All of them are good songs. All of them are great performers. And so really, to get seventh place in a group of stars is not so bad.
Yeah, I'm sure Benjamin will do even better after this UMK. Now a lot of even more people recognize him and his music.
Yeah.
And what's like special about UMK now, that it feels like a trampoline for these artists, that even if they don't get to go to Eurovision, at least their career will get a boost and they will get a lot more gigs, etc. So that's what the Yle was probably aiming for with the boosted UMK.
Definitely. Well, should we move to sixth place?
Yes.
Which is Lxandra. And Lxandra actually, before the televote, so after the juries had voted, was in second place, which I was pleasantly surprised by. What did you think about her performance?
Great singing. Staging probably looked a lot better on television than what it did on the in the arena. They brought this kind of transparent curtain on stage, which didn't look so nice, but then when they light it up with the lights, it probably looked really cool on television. I haven't seen the TV program yet.
I did watch it, and it did look very cool because there was the shadows from the lights, and I thought it really elevated the performance.
Yeah, but the singing was top notch.
Yeah, and the more and more I listen to that song, I think it's going to be a song that kind of, it sticks with me for a really long time. I think that a lot of people, I hope that other Eurovision fans, they dig into the national finals a little bit, because I think a lot of people would connect with this song.
Yeah, it was probably a tough spot to perform in. The earlier acts were like highly energetic, and then trying to calm the people down that, hey, I'm coming in with a ballad, so try to enjoy this. That might have affected at least some of my judgment.
Yeah. All right, fifth place was Kuumaa, and they were third place with the jury vote, and then fifth with televote. I guess I'll go first in my reaction. Yeah. I thought they were really good. They sounded wonderful. I was a little bit disappointed with the visuals. I thought the music video had a lot of this flashing, this black and white. There was a lot going on, and so it gave this kind of friendly party energy to it. And the background, it was kind of these boring mountains, and then they would kind of pose, and then this shadow or this extension of their pose would go out, and I thought it looked a little corny and stupid.
I actually liked it.
Oh, okay.
But they maybe overused it a bit. It was, for me, it looked really cool for once or twice, But then when it was like, okay, this is now 5th or 6th time that they do the same effect, then it was okay, is there anything else in their show? But yeah, that, like putting that aside, their singing sounded great as usual. Also, maybe they suffered a bit of the spot that they performed like right after. They performed second, was it?
Yeah, so right after
Robin's. Yeah, so it might have maybe needed a bit more energy because their music video was they were jumping around and they were enjoying the gig, and now they were mostly standing still and playing with the video effects.
But I think I'm happy that they did, so well. They got a good amount of points in general from both the juries and televote. But I am glad that they're not moving on, because I think there's a lot of entries this year that kind of fall into their same category, and I think they would get a bit lost in the wider competition. So while I think they did really well, I don't think they were the right act to move forward, and maybe that was reflected with people and how they were voting.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe like people who were listening to Kuumaa were also listening to Käärijä, and they were like torn between the two.
Yeah. Okay, 4th place, Robin.
I was pleasantly surprised by Robin and his performance. The Willy Wonka costume and the trampoline. He looked really relaxed and also really talented. Doing those flips on stage and still singing on pitch. It takes a lot of talent to do that. And I think the show was also better than what I expected. The video was shot in a lobby and all that, and wondered how will they translate that into the live performance. And now this was more like a dreamland or video game, like a land where they were jumping around, and I think it worked well.
I am going to disagree with you, or at least I had him ranked as my number 2. I liked that song so much that I ranked him super high going into it. And the performance, while I thought the trampolines were really fun, I just kind of realized how juvenile the performance seemed. You've got this song, Girls Like You, and this Wild Side. We never really saw the Wild Side. It still felt, and especially knowing that he was kind of this child star, felt like he's never grown. It felt like a song that a middle schooler would sing about a girl that they would want. And the performance, it felt like a Ronald McDonald's commercial. I mean, it was so kind of G-rated.
You're
sterile. And so while he had the energy, he has the chops and everything, it was really missing for me. And I don't know why that I realized that just then. But
I'll give you that. You're absolutely right. It was a juvenile performance. Yeah. And now that you say it, it's definitely like a echo from his childhood stardom.
One thing I did get the feeling that he came across very humble to me. Even so, his kind of fan section and his groupies had these cutouts of his face with the eyes cut out, so it looked kind of creepy. And it was sort of a bit like poking fun at him too. And he was using that. And I think he came across a bit shy and a little bit like, hey, I know I was the favorite, but I know that these other songs, like, people don't like it that much. And it really made me like him as a person. I felt like he had the right attitude, and whenever I was looking at him interact with the other performers, it felt like he was the most humble out of all of them.
Yeah, I agree that, like, that helped, at least with me, the how I approached or how I felt about his performance, that he was cool and calm.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, now we're getting up there.
Keira.
Yes.
Third spot.
Third spot. A lot of people really wanted her to win, or I've seen a lot of not furious, but very passionate fans after the fact. And our first seats where we were moved from, we were kind of at her fan section. A lot of people with signs for her. So I think she's had so much support. I thought the costuming, her outfit was really great, and the denim of the backup dancers, I really liked. They had this kind of light up archway for her. But for me, the song wasn't good enough for it to go to Eurovision. I think people are so right when they're saying that she's one of the best singers in the competition this year, but just the song, I think actually third place is a good spot. It's better than I would have ranked on the song alone.
I agree. I was also surprised to see Keira that high. The song is good, singing is great. The staging, at least where we were sitting, it didn't look so great. The other performers, they've been elevated. Kuumaa had these stands, Robin had these stands, Keira did not. So everything looked quite small, although we were quite far from the stage, but I saw the huge circle there, and then Keira and the backup dancers there doing their thing in front of it. I would have wanted to see something bigger, and like lifting Keira up somewhere or walking down the stairs or something.
True,
a bit more show
having
elements.
Stairs would have been cool because that would have been an element from the music video. I did go back and watch the performance to see the TV version, and I was not super impressed with the dancing. It felt like I could see her kind of counting the steps or thinking about the steps in her head. The dance moves just got a little bit repetitive, and I think there could have been less of her dancing and just the backup dancers dancing around. And it's not to say, I mean, she is a good dancer, but I felt like maybe it's just needs more practice with the enormity of the event and feeling more comfortable in the performance. She felt a bit even stiff in some of the dance moves.
I agree. Portion Boys?
Yeah, they got the second spot, and they were last after the juries and then climbed up. And honestly, they wowed me in the performance. I had ranked them last, we both had in our individual rankings, but they were so fun. And I think when you're listening to their song, you would think that the na 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 na, that would be the most fun sing-along moment. But actually, the most fun sing-along moment is they have these like, yo, do that. And like that, to hear the crowd was so into that every single time. And it was so just funny. It was so fun.
It was it felt like the whole show, the whole like arc of the drama was set up for them. Okay, they're the last performer. There's a huge catwalk for them. There's the like confetti cannon, like everything. The show, like it ended up with their great performance, and I think they were happy not to go to Eurovision. They were happy just to do their show, and so that everybody on like in the national television got to see them and perform. And yeah,
they had great energy, and I think the them being last was really fun and really smart.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All dressed up white and driving around with the Segway.
Yes.
Driving in the middle of the catwalk.
Yeah, a Segway with the drums on it. I mean, just the elements that they had. It was so fun and funny. It was so good.
Yeah. They well, as I mentioned, we were sitting quite far, but then when they came through the catwalk, they were actually really close.
They were so close to us. Yeah, I could almost feel the fan blowing through the main singer's hair from where we were. It was so great. Yeah. Well, then we come to number 1, Käärijä.
Yes.
And I mean, it was our number 1. It was most people's number 1, and it was so good to see the performance go as well as it did. I think there were lots of worries. We had some people commenting on other videos, and we were agreeing with them that we were a little scared about what we would see in this live show. And I thought it was really, really good. Well done.
Yes, I completely agree. I was also a bit terrified. What will it be? Will he get enough support from the TV professionals that could tell what looks good and what looks good and what doesn't? But yeah, he delivered. The whole show delivered. They got rid of the lucha libre thing, which I think it was good. Not like making it a bit simpler. Then also the wig thing, that probably helped him not to do a costume change in the middle. The pallets, the wooden pallets, the Euro pallets. I think it worked in Finland. It might not work in Eurovision, so maybe they adjust that.
Explain what that reference is, because I didn't really get the Euro palette thing.
Yeah, palette in Finnish is lava,
Okay.
which is also stage in Finnish, so it could be like a wordplay.
Okay.
And the Euro refers to probably the standard size of the palette, so it's called Eurolava, and then the stage could be like Eurolava as well. I'm not sure if that was intentional.
No, I've heard other people say that too, or mention this kind of meta unpacking of it. Though I thought that it was had enough of a feeling like the boxing ring, because you did kind of have these, I don't know, it felt like a deconstructed boxing ring to me. So with the crates, and then with the backup dancers, he had kind of these straps as if you would have the bungees on the side of a boxing ring. So I think, or a wrestling ring. So for me, it made a nod to the music video, but then it was different enough. I will say, I wish there would have been a costume change. I think that would be perfect for the semifinal and the final. Just, okay, you've done this, you know how to work on stage now, let's add one more thing to keep the interest, because that was something, to have the costume change right as the song is changing, I think adds a lot. And we had someone comment on one of our videos, TLC commented that the ending of the live performance at UMK felt like kind of jokey. There was this kind of human centipede thing, and he does this kind of jokey dance move that he does in the music video, which people really like, but it did feel maybe like it wasn't as serious, and that could rub people the wrong way. So I do kind of agree with that. I wish there would be a costume change. I think that would add a layer of excitement and a change from this one.
I read an article somewhere that the human centipede and the dancing that followed after that, those were actually his ideas. But somebody else had planned the show, and then somebody just like decided, okay, now this needs something more. Hey, come on, Käärijä, come up with something. And then he's like, let's do a human centipede. Well, but...
And I mean, he does. People were saying that his costume looked like these big caterpillars, so it kind of looks like a hungry caterpillar. I get it. And also, I mean, the backup dancers kind of had these creepy white teeth and everything, so it added to a little bit of this absurd element to it. So I didn't hate that.
I like the cha-cha-cha dancers. I think it was a great addition.
Yeah.
Like great. We were thinking like, how will they do the boxing ring on stage?
Yeah.
But actually that was like perfect.
Yeah.
Having the dancers with the boxing ring ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
I thought it was perfect too.
Also, I remembered when we were reacting to Käärijä's video originally, you mentioned that it reminded you of
Fight Club.
Fight Club, yes. And now that they had the wooden boxing ring there, it also was a nod to that.
Exactly. Yeah, it was amazing to see it, but then also the crowd was so, you could tell it was the favorite going into it. And every time he would, get up to go do something like go to the bathroom or go off stage to then get ready for his show, everyone would cheer. And the crowd was so in love with the song, singing the cha-cha-cha, singing the other words. And then, I don't know, one of my highlights of the whole event was then at midnight, after the show was done, in one of the club areas, in one of the lounge areas, he came back for this more intimate show. And we were all standing, we're not sitting in chairs, and it was so nice.
I was even more blown up by the song at that point, because the song even felt that maybe they had made some sort of remix or added some more club elements to it, because it worked really well. There at the midnight disco.
Yeah.
And he even took his shirt off, and the audience was going crazy.
Yeah.
So, worked really well, and that made me that was the last nail in the coffin. Okay, right person, right artist.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah.
Really happy that we got to go there.
Yeah.
Really nice experience.
And I'm hoping that Finland's able to get, I'm gonna say it, top 5 this year.
Yeah. Well, when we were recording the video of our top 7, and we both mentioned that Käärijä is number 1 because he has the most potential to grow. With the performance that we've seen so far, what he did in UMK, I think he's in top 5. But if he can do something even more, fixing a couple things here and there, or just not fixing anything and just going even more bold on with what he got.
He's got potential to win. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be even number 1.
Okay, my mom asked this question. She was asking if Finland wins Eurovision, would people go to the Market Square? And I didn't know, because my mom was here for my graduation when Finland won the hockey championship. So she saw everything that went on, and she wanted to know if there was that same sort of. And I was like, well, I don't know. It's a lot of families watching this, and it's pretty late, and
I think people will definitely go for a couple of reasons. Käärijä, he's a sports guy, so what I've understood, he has been there at the Market Square himself when Finland has won something. And I also remember when Lordi won last night in 2006, there was some ice hockey competition just before that. Maybe Finland lost, and people were already prepared. Now we're going to the Market Square if Finland wins. Finland didn't win, but the next day there's Eurovision finals, and then people were like, okay, now we go. We were already prepared. We had the car was already running, and it will be definitely crazy if Käärijä wins. And he definitely could. Although there's really good songs also from other countries. Norway, possibly Sweden.
Yeah, Loreen, it's been so hard not to listen to that song.
Yeah, I've also just seen the news that
everybody's talking
she
about
might be the one.
Well, what did you think? Let us know how you felt, if you're happy about the results, or if you have any other comments about the show, if you watched it on TV. We did have one person recognize us when we were there, so if you were also there and you want to add something, you can put in the comments. You can like this video, subscribe, all that jazz.
Yes, and if you were there and if you agree with us, please let us know in the comments. It would be nice to hear hear other thoughts as well. We've watched Viviblog's Williams reaction to the UMK event. It was really, we agreed with it. Yeah.
Well, see you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.